Hey everyone, welcome to Chrome and Gasoline, the show where we live for the smell of hot oil and the sound of 8 cylinders breathing deep. I'm your host Alex, and this is our brand new mini-series on one car and one car only, the 1963 to 1967 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. Today, Episode 1, Birth of a Legend, the day everything changed. Picture late 1950s Detroit. The first-generation Corvette, the C1, is cute, it's fun, but honestly, it's getting embarrassed by Jaguars and even Porsche. 356 on the racetrack. GM Vice President of Styling. Bill Mitchell is not happy. Legend says he went marlin fishing in Florida, watched a stingray glide past the boat, and the light bulb went off. Sharp nose, tapered tail, pure predator. He comes back, funds a secret project out of his own pocket, called the Stingray Racer. A wild silver open-top with side pipes that smokes everything at SCCA events in 59 and 60. Mitchell tells designer Larry Shinoda, "I want the production car to look like that racer just grew a roof." Fast forward to September 1962, Chevrolet drops the bomb. The all-new 1963 Corvette. No more solid rear axle. For the first time ever on an American production car. Independent rear suspension, a new ladder frame, a stiffer chassis, a shorter wheelbase, and that jaw-dropping body. The coupe has the famous split rear window, 1 year only, that turns the back of the car into a dramatic fastback. Convertible still looks killer, but the coupe? People literally stop on the street. Under the hood, you can get anything from a 250-horse 327 up to the brand-new fuel-injected version pumping out 360 horsepower four-wheel drum brakes. Discs come later. 4-speed manual standard, and you can even order knock-off aluminum wheels that look straight off a race car. The press loses its mind. Car and Driver calls it the most beautiful car in the world. Sales double overnight. The Corvette stops being a weekend toy and becomes America's legitimate answer to Ferrari. And that split window? Half the buyers loved the drama. The other half complained it wrecked rear visibility. Guess who won that argument next year? So that's how the Stingray was born. One man's fishing trip, one designer's pen, and Chevrolet finally deciding to build a real sports car. Next episode, we're diving deep into the curves, the hidden headlights, and why driving a 63 to 67 still feels like strapping into a rocket with chrome bumpers. And now a little anecdote. First time in a split window. I'll never forget the first time I drove a real 63 split window coupe. Riverside red, black interior, Fuely. The owner hands me the keys as if he's passing along the nuclear codes. I fold myself in. The door shuts with that solid fiberglass thunk. And the cockpit is so tight my left knee is flirting with the dash. Fire it up. Brap, brap, brap it. The fuel-injected 327 settles into that loppy idle that sounds like it's daring you. Pull out onto Pacific Coast Highway at dusk. Top down, even though it's a coupe. Yeah, I took the roof off first. I roll into second gear, floor it, and the nose lifts just enough to remind you 3,200 pounds is nothing when 360 horses wake up. The split window turns the rear view into 2 letterboxes of pure 1963. California sliding away behind me, and the smell, hot fiberglass, Amoco Premium, and salt air hits like a time machine. 60 comes up so fast that the hidden headlights haven't even finished popping up yet. That's the moment I understood why people sell houses for these things. Thanks for riding with me on Chrome and Gasoline. If you're enjoying the series, hit that subscribe button and tell a friend who still believes in carburetors. See you next time. Welcome back to Chrome and Gasoline. I'm Alex, and we're knee-deep in the greatest Corvette generation ever built. The 1963 to 1967 C2 Stingray last episode. We watched it burst onto the scene in 63. Today, Episode 2, Sexiest Shape on Wheels. You drop into the driver's seat, and I mean drop, because ground clearance is basically a rumor. Twin cowls on the dash stare back at you like a fighter cockpit. Deep dish steering wheel, big tack and speedo right in your face, and every switch feels like it was placed by someone who actually drives fast. Outside, pure drama. That long hood stretches forever. Fender peaks rise like a cobra ready to strike. And starting in 1964, the split window disappears, replaced by a single piece of glass that actually lets you see the car chasing you. Hidden headlights flip up with a satisfying whir, electric motors in 63, vacuum in later years when they were trying to save weight. Side pipes were optional every year and still sound like God clearing his throat. Colors? Riverside Red, Daytona Blue, Milano Maroon, names that make grown men weak. And the chrome rocker panels on early cars? Gorgeous until you realize stones chip them to death. Underneath, the magic is that new independent rear suspension with a transverse leaf spring. It transforms the car. Suddenly, Corvettes corner like they mean it instead of just going straight really loud. Brakes go from drums to four-wheel discs in 65. Best brakes in America overnight. Engines? The small block 327 grows legs every year. 300, 340, 350, 365 horsepower with Holly carbs or that insane Rochester fuel injection. Then 1965 drops the bomb. The 396 big block. 425 horsepower in a 3,200-pound fiberglass body, 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds, when Mustang GTs were still bragging about 9. In 1966, the 427 replaced the 396, and in 67 you can order it with tri-power. 3 two-barrels, making a factory-claimed 435 horsepower that everyone knows is closer to 500. Driving one feels alive. The steering is quick, the ride is firm, but never harsh, and when you nail second gear, the whole car crouches and lunges like the Stingray it's named after. So whether you love the pure 63 split-window coupe or the flared Fender 67 big block roadster, every single year has its own personality, and every single one is drop-dead gorgeous. Next time we're hitting the track, Route 66, and even the silver screen, the racing triumphs and pop culture moments that turned the Stingray into an American icon. And now a little anecdote. Big block 67 on a back road. Last summer I got seat time in a numbers-matching 67 L71 Roadster. Marlboro Maroon, 427 tri-power, side pipes, no power steering, no power brakes, no excuses. We're on this forgotten two-lane north of Malibu, sun low, eucalyptus everywhere. I bang second gear at about 4,500 RPM and the 3 two-barrels open like church doors on Sunday. The whole car squats, the stinger hood ripples, and those side pipes turn into flamethrowers. Wah, boom, 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 every explosion bouncing off the canyon walls. The tatch needle swings past 6,000 so fast I almost miss the shift. The back end steps out just enough for me to catch it with opposite lock. Tires howling like banshees on bias plies. My passenger, a grown man who races modern GT3s, is white-knuckle gripping the dash, screaming, "This thing is possessed!" I just laughed because the steering is talking to me through that thin wood wheel, telling me exactly where the grip is. That's not horsepower. That's witchcraft with chrome valve covers. Thanks for riding with me on Chrome and Gasoline. If you're enjoying the series, hit that subscribe button and tell a friend who still believes in carburetors. See you next time. Rev those engines and welcome back to Chrome and Gasoline. I'm Alex, still living in 1963 to 1967, Corvette heaven. We've covered the birth and the beauty. And now, Episode 3, Kings of the Road and Track. You mash the loud pedal on a 67 L71 for 27, tri-power, and the world disappears. The hood lifts a little, both back tires light up, and you're doing 70 before you finish shifting to third quarter mile. Times in the low 13 seconds. Stock, with points, ignition, and bias ply tires. That's how you humble a Hemi on a Saturday night in 1966, but the Stingray wasn't just a drag strip terror. Privateers like Roger Penske, Dick Goldstrand, and the Grady Davis Gulf Oil Team took grand sports and production cars to Le Mans, Daytona, Sebring, and they scared Ferrari silly. The lightweight Z06 package in 63, with its monster 36.5-gallon tank, sintered metallic brakes, and thicker sway bars turned street cars into barely legal race cars. Then there's the 5 factory Grand Sport lightweights in 63, aluminum blocks, fender flares, 550 horsepower. They were so fast that Chevrolet had to withdraw official support to keep the peace with the AMA over the racing ban. Only 100 L88s in 67 to 69, but the spirit started right here in the C2. Off the track, the Stingray became the car of the 1960s fantasy. Route 66 television show, Todd and Buzz cruising in a new Corvette. Every season, Apollo astronauts got 67s as lease cars for $1 a year. Elvis had one, so did John Glenn. In movies, it's everywhere. Austin Powers didn't invent the swinging vibe, the Stingray lived it. It represented everything America wanted to be in the mid-60s. Fast, loud, beautiful, a little dangerous, and completely unattainable, unless you were willing to skip a few mortgage payments. Bottom line, the C2 didn't just perform. It redefined what an American car could be, and it looked cool doing it. And now, a little anecdote. 65, Fuley Rain Run, taste the storm, top down in the rain. 65, Fuley, Mulholland at midnight. The cockpit smells like wet dog and race gas. Then I floor it, and the Rochester injection screams, sucking in raindrops that explode into mist. Every breath is a mouthful of cold water, hot exhaust, and that metallic tang of mechanical fuel injection. The leather wheel is swollen and slippery from the rain. My palms leave perfect prints that refill the instant I shift. The headers are cherry red, and every raindrop that hits them flashes to steam, hot vapor blasting up through the hood scoops and into my face like a sauna full of 100 octane. I'm chewing on the air. It tastes electric, like licking a spark plug mixed with summer rain and scorched Goodyear rubber. The seat is soaked. Cold water pools under my thighs, then instantly warms from the transmission tunnel heat. When the tires finally bite after a hydroplane heartbeat, the G-force slams me sideways, and the door panel kisses my shoulder with wet vinyl that tastes faintly of mildew and pure freedom. When I lick my lips, next episode, we bring it home. What these cars are worth today, which ones to hunt for, and why the Stingray's legacy still echoes in every Corvette that rolls off the line in Bowling Green. Thanks for riding shotgun on Chrome and Gasoline. See you for the finale. Welcome to the final ride of our Chrome and Gasoline mini-series on the 1963 to 1967 Corvette Stingray. I'm Alex, and if you've been listening all week, your garage probably feels empty right now. Episode 4, still turning heads after 60 years. You walk into a Concours field today, and the C2 row still stops traffic. A real 63 split-window Fuley in the right color can bring 200 grand. Easy A documented L8867 Roadster, try north of 2 million. Even solid small block convertibles are 6 figures now. Prices have climbed every year for 2 decades, and they're not done. So which one should you chase? 63 split-window coupes are the poster children, but 67 big-block roadsters with side pipes and stinger hoods are pure sex on wheels. The sweet spot for most of us? A 65 to 66 small-block coupe with factory air and 4-speed. Stunning to look at, still a blast to drive, and you might find a nice one south of 100 grand. Watch out for. Rust never eats the fiberglass, but the bird's cage around the windshield pillars and the frame underneath absolutely can check for crash damage. Fiberglass hides sins badly. And numbers matching matters more on C2s than almost any other classic. Restoring one? Budget double what you think. Chrome shops, NCRS judging guides, and correct date-coded plug wires will humble you fast. But when it's done and you fire that 327 for the first time, man, there's no sound like it. The Stingray's real legacy? It saved the Corvette name. Without the C2, there might never have been a C3, S4, or the mid-engine C8 we're driving today. Every modern Corvette still carries that sharp nose, those hidden headlights, and that attitude that says, I dare you to keep up. And now a little anecdote. 1966, 427/425 dawn on Ortega, the full breakfast of senses. Cold start on a 66 big block at 5 a.m. The 427 coughs blue smoke that tastes like frozen race gas and despair until the secondaries open. Then it's suddenly sweet and rich, like maple syrup poured over burning tires. The fiberglass fender is ice under my fingertips, numbingly cold. Then the headers tick and pop and the heat radiates through the hood so fast I can feel the paint temperature climb under my palm. Slide in. The seat leather is stiff and cracked, biting into the backs of my legs like stale toast, still carrying that ghost flavor of 1960s Brill cream and cigar ash. When I breathe deep, the wood wheel is frigid at first, then warms so fast it feels alive. I roll onto Ortega Highway, and the big 427 finally clears its throat, exhaust notes so fat and rich it coats my tongue like barbecue smoke. Downshift into a hairpin, and the G's pin me into the bolster. The vinyl is tacky from overnight dew and tastes salty. When I bite my lip on the exit, sun crests the ridge, chrome explodes with light, and the cowl vent scoops sagebrush air so thick with wildflowers and hot oil, I'm chewing on California itself. Every shift, the Hearst knob is molten aluminum in my palm. Every throttle blip sends a hot pulse up my right foot, and for 10 perfect miles, I'm tasting, touching, and breathing the greatest sports car America ever built. So that's our series. 4 episodes, 20 minutes of pure American dream machine. I hope somewhere out there you've caught the bug and you're already scanning classifieds for a stingray of your own. Thanks for spending your week with me on Chrome and Gasoline. If you love the show, leave a review, tell your car club buddies, and keep the revs high and the rubber side down. Until the next tank of premium and open road, this is Alex, signing off.